So, our next guests are two very experienced IT professionals with strong backgrounds in project management and IT operations. I'd like to welcome Cristina Andries, project manager at eSolutions, and Doru Popa, IT manager at Regina Maria from the private healthcare network. They will share with us some interesting insights on how big data can help streamline healthcare operations. Cristina, Doru, have the stage.
Thank you, Alex.
And the prompter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to all, and welcome to our presentation today. We will talk to you about today about how we managed to use the big data concept in order to streamline the business of our customer, Regina Maria. More specifically, we will tell you about the challenges and the needs that we've identified, how we've implemented the solution. Afterwards, we will try to give you sort of a view in some metrics revolving around the project. Of course, we will tell you afterwards about what our next plans are, because we do have a lot of plans. And last but not least, the conclusions and the Q&A session. Okay, so first, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Cristina. I am a project manager for a very long time, and I am very passionate about data projects, mainly. And I'm very interested on how to transform all the data that the customer has into real valuable business insights. I've been working for eSolutions for about 2 years now. eSolution is a company that develops all sorts of applications, but mainly and more relevantly for today's meeting are the big data projects. I think that's about me and about the company I work for. Next, I will let Doru introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Doru Popa, and I IT manager at Regina Maria about 11 years, I think. My team take care of the back office and laboratory application. Now, a few words about Regina Maria. It's a private healthcare network, a leader in quality of medical service in Romania, being the only operator that owns 3 hospitals with international accreditation. Through this accreditation, a unique performance in Central and East Europe, Regina Maria constantly demonstrated its committed to medical excellence and patient care, and may add technological innovation. During COVID pandemic, Regina Maria involved in testing 9 molecular biology laboratory from the network, reaching processing capacity of over 4,000 PCR tests per day, and processing so far over 500,000 tests nationwide. Our project started mainly from the diversity of application and database, and from the large volume. I will let Cristina talk more about our project.
Thank you, Doru. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's great having Doru here because he can further endorse our great collaboration. So thank you very much for being here. It's really helpful.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so moving on, I will continue to tell you about the challenges and details about the challenges that we've encountered at the customer, and also try to present you a bit the solution that we've decided to apply there. Okay, so in Regina Maria, we knew that we needed to handle big volumes of data. We had all sorts of data spread throughout multiple sources inside, We didn't have any aggregated views on them. We also needed to act very fast and transform those data in order to have quick, fast response, quick insights, so that we could make really strategic decisions in time. So I think it's a safe bet for us to say that the big data platform was the obvious solution. How we've implemented this? Well, specifically for Regina Maria, we've chosen to install the platform on-premise because we already had the resources available at the customer. So the first step was just to start building the infrastructure, configuring the processes, the services, and everything inside the platform. Afterwards, it was very important to be able to manage the data acquisition. Because as I said, we had multiple sources from which we needed to take data before transforming them and serving them to the consumption layers. We do this using Apache NiFi. This allows us to make acquisition in batches. We've also activated a change data capture feature, which allows us to make data acquisitions in even 2 minutes time. So everything changes very fast, and we are able to gather that data into our platform. Afterwards, of course, we also started to think about what about streaming events. Well, of course, we have thought about also having streaming messages being ingested into the platform. This we easily managed with Kafka and Azure Event Hub. So it works properly, fine. We have the data that we need. What do you do after you have ingested all this data? Well, of course, you need to transform them and start processing them, start to create historical states, current states of your data, and so on and so forth. We manage this with Spark. Spark is a very useful tool. It guarantees us a fast implementation, and so on and so forth. After the data is being collected and transformed into all these complex processes, of course, we need to load them and store them into a data warehouse and into a structured form so that it will be later consumed by BI tools, by third parties like mobile apps, and so on and so forth. Again, for Regina Maria, we decided to use Vertica as a storage layer. The advantages of using Vertica were mainly specific to our customer because we already knew what the solution was. We had user knowledge on it. It was very easy to implement and to start working on it. And of course, all these pipelines need to be monitored and need to have alerting in case something fails. And we do this using the ELK, Stash, and Grafana. Okay, so basically this is the entire flow of the platform that we've installed. Next, I will show you a technical architecture, a high-level architecture, but I will not get into details today since we are on a business track. But I think it will be useful for you to check it out and study it a bit later. Okay, so basically this is what I've been talking about in the previous slide. I think we can move on. How do we measure the success and the volumes that revolve around the project, and whether or not it was worth it to install this or not? Well, for this I can give you some quick metrics. Maybe you can catch an idea of what volumes of data we were talking about. From a business side of view, Regina Maria operates over 350 locations. It has over 650,000 subscriptions. And since it started, about 5 million patients have run through their hallways and have been treated at Regina Maria. So how do all this major data translate into technical information? Well, it's easy. On a daily basis, we ingest about 31 million rows. About 16 million rows of them are on a batch stream, and the rest on a near real-time stream. So as you can see, we do operate large volumes of data. All these lines actually form about 250 entities in 11 sources at Regina Maria at the time, and we keep on growing every day. We try to take more and more data from more and more other business verticals and so on and so forth. At present, we have about 4 billion rows stored into our data warehouse that are ready to be consumed, and they are available with minimum to zero downtime. Actually, until now we have had zero downtime, but let's not get hasty on this. Okay, so after installing on this, we might want to take a step back and evaluate the results that we've had. So, as for the benefits, after having the first proof of concept installed in production, we quickly could see that we already had some aggregated views into the platform. We've had entities that had attributes from not one source, but maybe 2 or 3 or all 11. So this information you can now easily get just from one place. Of course, everything is very quick because we have the ability, once we gather all the data, we then have the ability to transform them and prepare them into giving us exactly the insights that we need for our business. Another important benefit is that we can expose the same data and the same structured views to multiple consumers, as I said, such as the BI tools, whichever you want or you have in your environment, or through APIs to the mobile apps, for instance, or websites and so on and so forth. We have the ability to execute business operations. This means that if we decide inside Regina Maria to take upon a new challenge and to implement a new operations flow, first you need the data. And this now happens very quickly. Since you already have multiple data there, we have the ability to act fast in order to install and implement new models of data and so on and so forth. So we are able to react much quicker to everything that the business requires in order to change the strategy or the direction or whatever. Of course, another technical benefit is that using Apache NiFi and finding those smart and optimized ways to ingest data, we were able to lower pressure from the applications. The old ways of gathering data from the local sources were usually putting a high pressure on the application that caused problems in interacting with the application for the end user. So now we have very low pressure on the systems, but we do, however, gather all the data that we need. And of course, last but not least, we have better control and visibility over all the process, all the pipeline that has been described beforehand is at every time monitored. We have quick alerting by email. We send logs to other visualization methods for the monitorization and so on and so forth. So everything is monitored. We have the ability, if something happens, to act really fast and to correct everything if there's a problem, of course. Okay, so having all this installed and all these nice and cool processes, of course that we start to look a bit on our future. So in the near future, we are starting to think about implementing a hybrid platform of big data using on-prem services and also cloud services. We continue to build our consumption layer by developing more and more APIs focused on the needs of third parties. And of course, now we can really start to build machine learning algorithms that will help us not only improve our internal management processes, but also increase patient care. So I think this is really, really nice. Okay, so in the next part, I have a bit of a secret to share with you. It's highly confidential. We've decided to share with you the secret recipe of our success. Throughout the project, we noticed that we have selected a well-suited list of technologies to use. We have involved a highly skilled technical team that have faced every obstacle, and they faced them very well, and we've overcome everything that we've encountered throughout the project. And last but not least, if not the most important, is a highly collaboration between all the project members, starting from the business point of view from the customer, the technical team from the customer, which have been with us every day, day to day, and periodically, and help us understand better how to interpret all the data, and of course, the tech team. So this is the very well-kept secret that I wanted to share with you. Considering all this, I think the conclusion is only one, that nowadays there is no other way than the big data way. And with this, I think I've covered everything, and we will continue to the Q&A section. Thank you very much.